Yo, 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 what is going on, COD Familia? It is your boy BN, aka Mr. Kingdom Builder, and today we are going to be giving you the latest, maybe the greatest, or just the most impactful update that has happened thus far in the early lifespan here for SS1-2. And as you can probably tell, just from the overhead that we have so far in this defined or confined area, TA, TM, GRZ, UEH, TMS, TD, they have finally pushed through and made it into NUVOLA that they are now branching into. You can see that SS18 here, BDL that was here on the southeast of NT45, they have now kind of moved to their next staging areas. You can also see SS00, BDL over here in the northwest. God is, again, losing a little bit of ground here as well. You can see GRZ and them have been trading the pass. And if we zoom in, you can see that we have, I think that's TA. It is. So they're, again, already kind of going for the NT45 flag. They're probably just making them work for it, I would imagine, at this point. But they're going to end up going here for the core fortress. They are also, I don't know if they're building this. Yeah, they're probably not going to the corner. But you can see that they are extending northeast. And they are going to start removing these inactive flags from SS18, right, that they'll have to if they want to keep making ground and pushing. So again, good move here that they built the flags out. I'm sure that'll stall and delay a little bit. I think the big thing here probably for GRZ and then TM, when they end up getting the pass back, will be going for God. It just seems that's the direction they're already going in. You can see GRZ has actually gone ahead and placed a core fortress here. So I would imagine that they're probably, I don't know if they're hitting all the flags. Oh, look at that. Wow, they actually just got done doing that. Got done doing an IDL flag. Oh, I see. So they're actually building this one. They got, what, under 29 minutes. And then they'll connect to the CF and probably just go directly for it, I would imagine, while they continue to hit these other flags. You can see TM destroying this one. They got about 12 minutes left on that. So again, they are making headway. And TM, let's see here. Oh, no, that's actually their flag. Okay, yeah, so they're just building. All right. Well, again, oh, I see. Yeah, they just swapped level 1 passes. That's why it's now reconnected in purple. So, but if we end up moving this, and let's say that we go a little bit more eastward to see how things are developing, you can see that SS18 is still here in the middle. If we go to a little bit east, you can see SS00 is here too as well. You can see SS17. You can actually see SS11 here. You can actually see God here with an alliance fort, and then GOZ as well. You can see NT45 is here at the pass. BDL is here at the pass. You got SS00 is here, right? So I wonder what the plan is now, right? Bearing in mind we have a little bit of time, and we can take a look to see what the updated numbers look like for when we're going to hit, I think it's Conspiracy. Yeah, so, right, Great Deeds, you got a day and an hour left. And then, right, so you're still about maybe a week, maybe a little over a week out until level 2 passes open. So, you know, do you think, right, what's the plan here now for, like, if you look at the TA, TM, TD, GRZ, UEH, etc. side, is their plan that they're going to push through, make a little bit of a cushion here just in front of the level 1 passes, and then is the play to start dropping down core fortresses maybe around the middle of the map to start kind of pushing and basically going for kind of quick and fast disconnects, right? So an example here is, you know, does someone place a CF here? Will someone look to place a CF around here or up north, and then they'll basically send the troops out before? You know, they'll have one alliance defend, one other alliance that focuses on building, and they'll just go for the quick disconnect on the, you know, on this alliance fortress in this case, right? Just to, you know, do as much damage as they can. Is that going to be the play? Will they then do that for SS00 down here? Will they start looking, and then after that, and they've kind of removed some of that middle, I guess you could say, resistance? Will they then go and start placing CFs close to these forts and then start trying to basically do quick pushes right as fast as they can before Zone 2 opens, and then try to make it as far as they can? Will they actually slow build the flags out here from the level 1 passes, and then just start kind of slow building eastward? It was coming. I attempted to hold it off. So, thinking about where and what those next steps are going to be for that side. Now, on the other side, for the unions of SS, the S5, S6, so you got your BDL, your IDL, GOD, GOZ, NT45, NT17, etc., and then the SS alliances. What is their plan? Are we, again, pushing back to kind of that second staging area that it looks like is going to be here at these 3 level 1 passes? Is that going to be the play? Are they going to start building flags, maybe, layering? Will they layer flags in front of the level 1 passes, so making it that it's just that much extra work that TA and its union allies have to now do? Which is one tactic, right? If you kind of layer this out where you have to basically remove the same number of flags no matter what for the direction you want to push from, that could be something. If you want to, or maybe you're just going to reinforce it, and the plan here is going to be, right, because like we've talked about, sometimes, with the way the trades work, right, it is more favorable for you to defend than it is to attack, because you'll take less deaths. So maybe the play is, look, we're going to put our 3 strongest players defending the passes, and we're going to, shift some players around, and maybe they're just going to go for like a super ultra defensive hold. That would be interesting, right? So if they took the top 3 players and they said, look, we're going to stick 1 in each pass, right? We'll look at the top 200 and we'll even that out. So if they have 60 or 70 players in the top 200, then maybe they say, look, we'll send 23 to this alliance, 23 to that alliance, 23 to the other alliance, and then we'll have the strongest players defending. We'll have these other players that are there, so it balances it out, right? They'll be able to fill appropriately, and then, maybe they'll do some layering. Maybe they're just basically going to try and hold this, heal up as much as possible, and basically get ready for the second round, right? And maybe try to hold the passes a little bit more efficiently. And that could be something. Will they start maybe doing things around here? Will they start just barricading this like it's, nobody's business, and they're just going to go out super far, right, in all directions? Just, again, either creating more work for the other alliances to do that are coming, or may come, we should say. So there is quite a few options at this point. I also want to show some leaderboards out, because I do want to give some appropriate shout outs here that have just been kind of amazing to see, in my opinion. So you got Junie, who's been powering up a little bit, right? He's at 66 mil now, Ghost 64. I also heard, which for anyone that's curious, I did reach out to Ghost because someone had mentioned to me that Ghost might have been back, and I don't know if whether or not he may want this to be known or not, but again, Ghost has always been a cool guy, and I had reached out to him directly to ask if he was back, and he told me that he is. So welcome back, Ghosty Poo. We appreciate you. And now you got Muzza in third, TA, right? Remember, Burning was previously at 72 mil, right? So he's lost 14 mil. I'm sure he's going to power up. Duz has already been powering up a little bit more to kind of get back slowly to where he was, right? I think the lowest I saw him was around 51 or so. So again, that's something. So maybe, you have Burning, Duz, Asura, right? Those are your 2-3 players that maybe are looking to kind of garrison and hold rallies. However, if we look at personal merits, dude, I have to give a massive shout out here to Burning, still holding that number 1 spot for just most fighting, man. You, regardless of, how things, are going currently, right? And remember, this is one part of the scale of the war in SS1-2. Just because they're losing the passes at this front does not mean that it's over in any way, shape, or form. If it's any indication how the first season of SS1-1 went, Forgotten Lands had fighting much longer than the past fighting that was happening in this season. And they also had more resistance at multiple moments throughout last season on this kingdom. So, again, to me, it's just getting started. But the personal merits, shout out to Burning, number 1, shout out to Ghost, number 2, and then EX here, number 3. Again, Does right there at number 4. He's been putting up good numbers. Asura, right? You could see that, 3 of the top 5 on one side of it are good, and then it's just a lot of TA, a lot of TM, and the next one comes in at 16. But if we go and we look at the top 200, remember, last time I think we saw was like around 250, 260. Was the bubble position. Now it's almost at 500K, right? 475K plus. I mean, again, there's a shiitake mushroom amount of fighting that has been going on in this kingdom. And one of the interesting things that we can see now is where am I going? No, it is Alliance Merits, yeah. So Alliance Merits is the thing that we can see now. And if we're just doing some soft numbers here, let's move this over. So we got, let's just add up real quick what we have. 697, 336, and then it's TMS. Cool, let's do plus TMS, plus GRZ, and then I guess we could do UEH as well. Okay. So for those alliances that we just listed, they are at 160, we'll just say 0.5 million points. If we do the other alliances, let's see where they're at. So we got NT45, and then we got BDL. All right, okay, and then we'll do, what was that, SS11? So we got 25, 132, 107. We got GOD. IDL. Okay, nice. And then, I mean, I guess for the most part, that's probably it. I mean, I guess we can count SL just because, they're right there with UH. So 20607. Cool. So that brings the other side to 150.9 million, right? So on one side of the union, we have 160.5. That's the TA, TM, TD, TMS, GRZ, UEH side. And they're at 160.5 million. Then we have the other side, which is the SS alliances, the S5, the S6 alliances, NT45, the GOD, BDL, etc. They're at almost pretty much 151 million for all intents and purposes. So they're only 9.5 million merit points away. And this is the thing to remember. Even though overall in power they had about 1 billion more, they're only less than 10 million merit points away, but they only have a third of, or I should say a little less than a third, of the top 200 players on their side. That to me is still what I would consider to be a great achievement for what that side of it has been. Now, of course, I'd love for it to be even Steven. Most of the people that watch my content, you often will hear me talk about that, how it's really important to try and have things be as fair and balanced as possible, because that's how you get great sustainable fights for as long as possible. And that's really where the purest form of enjoyment is, once you eventually get to a point where you've maxed your account out, right, in the ideal situation. However, that's really what I think CoD is doing great above a lot of other kingdom builders, is because of the way that the game, the features are, the mechanics, the way that the battling works. Being in that open field PvP, it's just incredibly enjoyable, not only to watch, but to participate in. And so I think that they're doing a great job. I'm sure they're going to keep fighting and keep it up. And remember, there's a lot more left to do, especially when we have to wait to see how things play out. We have to wait to see what's going to happen when Zone 2 arrives. Will there be changes somewhere? Again, right? If I'm looking, or if I'm kind of giving my assessment on both sides, right, I think that the advantage when it comes to having a few targets to do, and this is what you have to keep in mind as well, is that TA, TD, TMS, UEH, TM, GRZ, they were only having to fight at 2 passes, right? This is something to keep in mind. Really where the benefit is going to be for the other union is fighting them at multiple passes. And there might be more of a benefit, potentially, fighting at 3 passes, or in this case 4 passes, excuse me. I think I might have said 3 earlier, compared to 2, right? It's more that they have to keep up fighting on multiple fronts for. In addition to this, once Zone 2 opens, and that's the thing you really have to consider, right, is that if they get pushed back, because you have to think about this, there's 1, 2, right? So, actually, hang on. Oopsies. I need to go clear this. I think there's a pass right here too as well. I'm going to have to confirm that. But anyways, with that being said, just something to consider. So So I'm pretty sure there should be a level 2 pass here, I believe. So I believe there's 3 passes that are going here from NUVOLA into, I believe this is Hollandale. And the thing to keep in mind is that in this Zone 2 area, they want to try and have as much access as possible. Oh, wait, hang on. Here it is, right? So you have Atherin. Hang on, let me get this straight. Yes, here you go. So here's one Zone 2 area. You have a level 2 pass here. There should be a level 2 pass here. And then the level 2 pass here. Then you have, this is Atherin, right? So unless there isn't one and I'm just tripping, oh gosh, but I almost strongly feel that there is something here, but maybe I'm just cray-cray. Point being is that if they get pushed out, this is where I'm trying to go with this, if they get pushed out of NUVOLA, then the only level 2 passes they'll have will be starting from Forgotten Lands, Zoland, and Burning Lands, right? So if they want to be able to contest this Union side, they need to be able to hold ground here in NUVOLA until the level 2 passes open. So that way, if they get in, they can then fight. They can fight TA, GRZ, again, TD, TMS, etc. Through here. And if they push deep enough, they could arguably try to attack each of these passes, right? I mean, you got 5 level 2 passes down here, plus the 2 over here. That would mean that they could potentially be fighting them on 7 battlefronts. That is a lot more in favor of their Union side versus the TA Union side, right? I say TA and SS for short. It's just easier than having to name every single Union every single time. Or all the alliances that are included. Because remember, you can't access any level 2 passes from Darlin. So again, if you get pushed out of NUVOLA, you won't have any Zone 2 access where you're able to apply more pressure to those alliances. You'll basically have to settle for taking this north area, which is Orkin, and then, again, settling for getting into, I think it's a Goru over here, from your side, right, from kind of deep in your territory. So that's just something to consider. Regardless, I'm still going to be interested just to see how things play out. It has been an absolute, and I say this almost every video, but it has been an absolute pleasure watching as much PvP as we have so far. There's been great fights, some good fights, right? Some good back and forths. I think that there still is a lot of opportunity left when it comes to, the strategic and tactical levels that we've been seeing, right? Kind of the overall rating and quality of that. And that is still exciting to me. I'm happy that there's still a lot of growing room just because of how early the game is. And we really haven't seen, as I've mentioned before, really haven't seen any type of what I would consider to be, high quality level coordination, tactics, communication displayed in the open field yet. I think there's been glimmers of good situations, good scenarios that we've seen play out. But that is something that I'll be looking very much forward to. with that in mind, let me go ahead and end it there. I'm going to pass the question off to you all. Let me know what you think. Which way do you think it's going to go? What do you think the SS alliances and their union should be doing, right? Should they stay and hold the fort in NUVOLA by trying to pressure or maybe maintaining pressure around the middle and then pushing the flags in? Should they not give up on this area? Should they just fall back and defend? Do they need to try and apply enough pressure maybe just to kind of hold the section to access the level 2 passes once that Augerstone chapter arises? Are they better just kind of cutting their losses and pushing out and then maybe just holding ground deep in Darlin, right? Because maybe TA and their union alliances may not want to push that far. And then on the flip side, what should TA's union of alliances do? Should they push deeper into NUVOLA and kind of slow build? Should they just try to basically start pass hopping where they kind of bypass this, they start sending their units out, they build some CFs, and then they basically build toward the passes cap and just kind of rinse, wash, and repeat? Should they start trying to basically go deep into their enemy territory? Let me know what you guys think. Again, I always love to read. That's going to be it for me. As always, until next time, I will catch you later.